Ha ha! Goodness to you. This is Sporty King, and I say goodness because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Look, I'm on early, so if you think, wait a minute, I thought it was going to start till 1 o'clock. I don't, but I always like to get on early and give Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube a chance to build the audience. Let people know Sporty's on. I'm going to repeat a couple of times today as people come on live, by the way. But I'm talking with a half a mouth numbed up right now. I went to the dentist today. So there'll be times where I will hopefully not bite my tongue. It's not that bad that I'm biting my tongue, but I am having to swallow a lot to make sure that my mouth is still working. So again, even when you're presenting or when you're doing a live broadcast, think about that, that you have the opportunity to come on early and let people know, even if because one thing I do is I start my broadcast on time. I don't like to start, say I start at 1 and then say, oh, well, wait and let me get some more people. And I get my shout outs too. Hey, what's up, General Jones, my boy, my friend, my good brother, Jeff Jones, what's happened? I call him General Jones because he's a general in the South Carolina Army National Guard. And you need to know that and be grateful that this is one of the men that we have in charge of protecting our lives. And he is compassionate about it, and he does a great job of it. And I know the soldiers and airmen, which is also the Air Guard in South Carolina, really appreciate it. Hey, coming in from from the West Coast, we have Marva Lyons, and we've got less than 3 minutes for today's message. And by the way, so y'all that just came on, I'm speaking with a half a mouth. I'm still slightly numbed up on the right side. I went to the dentist today. I didn't know they were going to do a filling and numb me up, but I'm doing good. But good morning, double morning for you, Marva, because I know you're out there on the West Coast, I believe San Diego, and I think Joy is out there on the West Coast too. What's happening, Joy? One of my Laughter Association partners, and thank you for reposting that post that I had yesterday. It's funny. I feel like Sylvester, or like how Daffy Duck talks, because I'm moving my tongue, and so I got my tongue all all gauzed up. Okay, yes, yeah. Joy is in California, so Joy and Marva coming in from California. Great. Jeff coming in from South Carolina. Gary, by the way, all of you are on Facebook. Hey, what's up, Gary? Gary's coming in from Richmond, Virginia. Just met this great. Just met him last weekend. We had such a ball with the Virginia National Guard, where he's in charge of the audio visual, and I mean, just did a great job of handling that. So thank you so much. We've got less than 2 minutes for today's message. Those of you coming on, if you're first time, I always get on early, and then that way I start my broadcast on time. And Marva is in the San Francisco Bay Area, so we got 2 Californians out there as people start to build in the audience. Also, by the way, y'all can be getting ready to put stuff in the thread. If you read the intro, I'm going to be asking you. We're going to go room by room of what kind of signs you have on your walls in your house. So if you want to be ready for that, and again, even if you're watching the broadcast, we still want you to put those things in there, because somebody may like a sign or a memory that you have in your certain room that they may want to incorporate into theirs, because that's what we're doing. We're talking about finding ways to uplift our spirits no matter where we go. And where does it start? Just like they say, what do they say? Charity starts at home. So just as charity starts at home, so does inspiration need to start at home. And my sister Zette calling in from NYC, she have to put that in to let me know where she is, because she lives in. I can't say because she might be on witness protection. So I don't. But Zette is living in New York and South Carolina right now. So my sister, my maternal sister, because I know you'll hear me call people my sister as we move through life and on broadcast. And this is I'll try to repeat maybe every 20 minutes or so. I'm speaking with a numbed up tongue and slightly numbed up jaw. Yeah, so Zed had to laugh about that. But hey, it's 1 o'clock. Let's start with today's message, Glue Wednesday. And I brought glue. I created Glue Wednesday in 2017. And I did it in answer to how often we hear people say that Wednesday is hump day. And that's kind of like from the old school days, old school rules. We used to say you work Monday to Friday and the weekend. We didn't use the term flex days and flex time, but there's always been that. And so people always just looked at as Wednesday as hump day, as the middle of the week. But the truth is, whether you work the weekends or the weekdays, Wednesday is the middle of a traditional 7-day week, and it keeps the week beginning and the week end together. So I call it the glue. And you see, it brings us into a wonderful prayerful mode, which is my favorite. And therefore, as we think about the glue in that prayerful mode, we think of God. And GLUE is God's love undoes everything. Not that it will tear things apart, but that it will undo whatever has been torn apart. In fact, here's something that Joy just said. I found a sign at Walmart that says, laugh like you have waterproof underwear. Okay, so even before we get into the rooms, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. And here, and Joy, right with your sign, here's what we want to realize, is that the signs in our house, in our home, feed our spirit. They should make us laugh. They should make us think. They should make us feel good. So I want to know today, what are some of the signs that you have hanging or laying around your home? And I want you to be ready as I talk about each room. Wait for the room, y'all. Be ready to pop them in the thread as I'll share mine and we go about, because what we're doing today is talking about signs of the house. So Joy, we're talking about signs of the house, but Joy has already given us one, a sign that she found. It says, laugh like you have waterproof underwear. And then you know what you say? Well, hey, it depends. All right. So let's start with one of the rooms in the house. Excuse me, we're going to start with the bathroom. What are the signs you have in your bathroom? While you're typing them in, I'm going to tell you about mine. Oh, no. Yeah, I'll tell you about mine. And then while you're typing yours in. So in my bathroom, I have beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You're beautiful. So think about that. I get to talk to myself every morning or every time I use the bathroom mirror throughout the day. I get to tell myself that I'm beautiful. You have to remind your spirit who the world is dealing with. And if you don't see yourself as beautiful, how can anyone else? So what, Joy, like that? It depends. That was a good one. Yeah. You got to have okay. And then and in his bathroom, Jeff's got kids flush. And you know what? One thing I always like to say is you can't make this stuff up. We don't discuss the broadcast before they come on. But one of the reasons I love having people put stuff in the thread, because I love to see the synchronicity. Ladies and gentlemen, we spend so much time looking for the differences instead of valuing the differences. And so we have to look at the commonalities that we have. Right now, all the comments we have are in Facebook or on Facebook if you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube. But so I'll say where the comment is coming from so that everybody can know that, because you may not see it. But we want to make sure we're sharing that. But I say that again to say I'll fast forward with you, Jeff, because another sign I have in my guest bathroom is we aim to please. You aim to please. So I see how the synchronicity with Jeff has kids flush. And then we aim to please, you aim to please. Now, P.S., by the way, this is also something that there's another use. So we get to laugh when we see those things. But this sign that I have, and it's on a ceramic image of a toilet bowl. And guess what? What it also does is not only does it make me laugh and smile, and it's in my guest bathroom so that they can laugh and smile, but this is also a great memory to me. See, when I first got transferred to Chicago, I used to work at the Wall Street Journal. I started in New York, got transferred to Washington, D.C., and then I got transferred to Chicago as a sales manager. When I first went out to Chicago to check it out, my good friend Dave Toscano, who was a friend and mentor, We just went out for lunch and we stopped in a thrift store, and that's where I bought this sign. We aim to please. You aim to please. Of course, you have to be grammatically checked out on that. But see, the signs also help us have memories of important people in our lives. And I'll never forget Dave. He was one of the people in Wall Street Journal who took me under his wing in the early parts of my journal career. But I mean, I have so many great friends at Wall Street Journal. I can't even list how many took me under their wing because we had such a great family. But Dave is one of the ones that I really went through a lot. And we even ended up, he ended up coming back to New York, and then I came to Chicago, and so always was able to connect with him. So the signs can make us laugh, but they can also make us think of people who are important to our lives, and that makes a difference. Joy in her bathroom has a sign that says, "And create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." Yeah, see, and that's the thing. See, these signs speak to our spirit. And again, like I say, the synchronicity there, we can't make this stuff up. Just as Joy has that wonderful spirit when she says, "Create in me a clean spirit, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." Here's one of the signs in my bathroom of God answering Joy. And it says, "Good morning, this is God. I will be handling all of your problems today. I will not need your help. Have a nice day." So that's the key. See, you've got to have those funny signs in there, and you've got to have the signs that bring a calm to you and make you get ready for the day, and then the signs that make you realize what's really going on. See, we need to be reminded of this so often. God will be handling your day. We hear people say it all the time, let go and let God. That's what that's all about. So thank you, Joy, for recognizing that you want to have God continue to create. And we could put that in the continue to create in me a clean heart. Or we could put continue in another part. Create in me a continuous clean heart. See, so it's always about using your vocabulary also to make a difference. You can still put in stuff from your bathroom, but I'm going to move on to the kitchen. What signs do you have in your kitchen? And maybe somebody has been waiting. And I might as well tell you the rooms in case you decide you can't type that fast. You want to be ready for certain words. I'm going to do the kitchen. I'm going to do the living room. I did the bathroom right. I'm going to do the kitchen and the living room. And am I doing the bedroom? Oh my goodness, I don't even have my bedroom in there. But I'll be able to mention my bedroom, okay? All right. Oh, look at that. And then in the kitchen, see, we're sticking with spirituality. I have a sign that says, "Good morning, this is God," right next to the coffee makers, where Joy says, coming in from California. Yeah. So whether you have God in the bathroom or the kitchen, you got to have God working for you. God will handle my problems, yes. And he doesn't need any help. Isn't that, we all know that. But like I said, we just have to be reminded of it. And then we have to enjoy what it really means, because it means a lot to our lives. Okay, in the kitchen, Zet's got mom's house rules. 1, if you sleep in it, this may not be in the kitchen. This may be anywhere. If you sleep in it, make it up. If you wear it, hang it up. If you drop it, pick it up. If you eat out of it, wash it up. If you empty it, fill it up. You have got to have rules. And see, all I'm doing is, some of these signs we may take for granted. Are you reading these signs every single day? I don't read all of mine every single day and stop and concentrate on them. But that's what I want to say to you. Make sure you're spending enough time to concentrate on certain signs in your house, and let that be the master of your day. Let that be something to pull you through. And then Joy also has in her kitchen, this is an equal opportunity kitchen. And so that connects back to what Zetine says. Mom's house rules. If you sleep in it, make it up. Equal opportunity, right? I'm not going to make your bed. I'm not going to wear your clothes. I'm not going to pick up things that you dropped. I'm going to let you be responsible enough to pick up this up. I'm not going to eat your food. And I'm not going to refill everyththing that you're looking for. So Joy, yeah, this is an equal opportunity kitchen. All right. Well, here's what I have in my kitchen. I have those little things you get. You can either put on they're called pot coolers or whatever. I put it on the stove, but you can also have it on the wall. But you could use it to put it on, and then put a pot on after you take it off the stove. Excuse me. And I have one that says a bird in the bush usually has a friend in there with him, because a lot of times, we hear we hear that saying, a bird in the bush. No, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. There go my tongue not working. It's numbed up. A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. That's the cliche we hear. And so here's the answers, and here maybe is the reason. A bird in the bush usually has a friend in there with them. So they're the two in the bush. And I just like that play on words. Again, you want to have something that also makes you think, because that's going to make you think. Now, there's a tape delay, and we're still on Facebook comments, but Francis says facts, 100% facts. And I think she's talking about the mom's house rules, the equal. She could be talking about everything that's on our list. Again, we're finding commonalities. Even if you're watching the video, put your stuff in the chat. Joy has in her kitchen, eat well, pray often, and love always. See, eat well, pray often, and love always. And even that came after Francis says facts. I guess you can obviously see that is a fact. Those are facts that you want to make sure you have. Then also, I have refrigerator magnets. And I have one that says, sometimes I feel like all I'm doing is rearranging chairs on the deck of the Titanic. Oh my God. And we know that, we know that Titanic is going to end up sinking, but it's just, people just going around and around, not doing anything and not going anywhere. So but I use that to remember another good friend of mine, Barbara. And then she gave me another one that said, it's more fun to get up early when the day has a destination. Because that's the other thing about the refrigerator magnets, or any place you can use your signs to give you inspiration and to give you a reason for celebrating the day. So far, all our comments are coming off of Facebook, and you can all see them in the fold. And then I guess if you are on LinkedIn or YouTube or on my site, you'll be able to watch them if you want to watch the video rebroadcast. That's swallowing. Again, if you keep joining me late, my tongue is numbed up. I got a filling today. Meanwhile, still in my kitchen. Oh, another thing about on my refrigerator magnets, I collect magnets of wherever I travel in most cases. So, here we go. Zattine's got on the refrigerator, kitchen magnet. Mines are like parachutes. They only function when they're open. See, so you get, these are the inspirational things that we are having all around our house. Mines are like parachutes. They only function when they're open. If you have a closed mind, just like a closed hand gathers no moss and no blessings, you have to have an open hand so that you can receive as much as you give. See, an open hand doesn't just mean I want. It means I have something to give. So an open mind makes a difference as well. When we think about all the different communication styles, and that's going to come up in another slide that I have later, where I talk about one of the signs that I have in several places of my house, because you need to remind yourself of certain things more than once. And this is, I think, one of the good ones, that an open mind is like a mind is like a parachute. You gotta have it open. And then on her refrigerator, Joy also has, the richest person is not the one who has the most, but who needs the least. Quote by David Moore. But that the richest person is not the one who has the most, but who needs the least. And as I think about that, I also think about what I started to say, all the places that I travel. I get magnets from places that I travel. But it also, again, your signs and your things remind you of different people. And so my magnets about places I travel remind me of one of my great nieces, Gabrielle Tobias. And we just call her Gabby. Shout out to Gabby. But I have a tradition that what I do with my nieces and nephews is with the younger ones. And I started this, I don't know what year I started it, but it's been, it's been at least 7 or 8 years, where I send postcards to my nieces and nephews as I travel. Now, I don't send a postcard every time I get to the place and buy it. I collect 2 or 3 and then send them in an envelope. And on each postcard, for whatever that trip is I have a theme, and it's you are special and wonderful, Uncle Sporty. And all of them, there were 16 postcards that I started out with, and all of them get the same message. But so I was home visiting, and I was saying, so how I like the postcard. And Gabby said, and at the time Gabby was 10. She said, I like postcards, Uncle Sporty. She said, but I like refrigerator magnets too. Ask and you shall receive. And I cracked up laughing because just that innocence of her saying that made me then change to where Gabby gets a magnet as well as a postcard. And then I did one of those things, don't tell your cousins, right? Because that way I didn't have to send everybody a magnet. I send everybody a postcard. But Gabby also gets a magnet. And so sometimes I can look and I can know what magnets Gabby has. I have more magnets than before I started doing that. But at least I know the ones that I keep covered with Gabby as well. And now Gabby is 21. And you know what? I said, well, you've aged out from the postcards and the magnets, haven't you? She said, no. So I still send Gabby the postcards and the magnets wherever I go. And Joy says, yes, you have magnets too when you travel. Great. I especially like to say, if any of my military people are watching, when you watch the places you get to travel, this is a great tradition to start with your nieces, nephews, family members. And that is, you go to some places that they've never been. So just get a postcard. And you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to mail a postcard every time you get it. Send them 2 or 3, and you don't have to write a long thing on the back about the place, because what do? We hang the postcards up for the pictures anyway. So that's what I do with them. So you have to have that choice of how you want to use it. Meanwhile, staying in the kitchen, I also have a glass holder that you stick on the edge of your glass. It says, going to dance, leave this drink alone. If you turn around and stick it the other way, it says, going to pee, leave this drink alone. My mother gave me that little card, and it's a placeholder for your glass, like in a bar, like bar etiquette. If you go to the bathroom, first of all, you want to have a friend of yours sitting with your drink. But what you could also do is put the napkin over the top of your drink and the straw through it. That means I'm not finished with my drink. Okay, but more importantly, you'd rather make sure you have a friend sitting there with you, because you don't know what people are putting in your drink. But this is something that you can't, that's what it's for. And it was a souvenir from somewhere my mother had went, but she had sent me that. And you can see my sense of humor. I get it from my mother and my father as well. So it's great to have that legacy in your life of laughter and sharing messages. Let's go to the living room. Now, you can still put in signs you have from anywhere else in the house, but let's go to the living room. What have you got in your living room? Well, one of my favorite signs I have in is, be reasonable, do it my way. It's my living room. But here's the thing, and I got to tell you, here's a sign that I don't have. I typed it up once, and I had up, and I don't know what I did with it because I've moved several times, so I need to retype it. But here's why that other one is so important. Because I say, make yourself at home, but remember that you're not. Make yourself at home, but remember that you're not. And I'm sure people can understand that one, because sometimes you don't know how people act when they're home. And so, no, you don't get to, I don't say, mi casa, su casa, my house is your house. No, you're visiting. And so, I'm sorry, I think, again, we have to remind ourselves that we have boundaries in life. We can't sometimes people will mistake your kindness for weakness. And so, even though we're just talking about the signs right now, and yes, we are talking about laughing and inspiration and feeling good, but life is a combination of those things, not necessarily in that order, and it includes everything that surrounds them. So use these things as a way of keeping your boundaries as well, but you can make them fun. But you do have to remind yourself, this is my home. And this is the way we do things here. Now, if you don't happen to like my house rules, like my mother used to say, when you get old enough to run this house, you can get out. She hesitated. You think she's going to say, when you get old enough to run, what she say to me, when you get man enough to run this house, I'm thinking she's going to say, then I'll let you take over. It was like, no, when you get man enough to run this house, you get out. And she said to my sister, when you get woman enough to run this house, you get out. So, make sure that you are not letting someone come into your home and making you miserable. You have to control the flow of traffic in your home. And guess what? Now we're talking about your home of your spirit, your life. You have to control the flow of traffic that comes into your spirit. You are your home. So make yourself at home, but remember that you're not. And therefore, you don't have access to just go walk anywhere and touch anything. Maybe there's some things that we have to be conscious of this. There's some things that we need to ask before we do in someone's house. Joy is saying, inhale and exhale gratitude as a sign in her living room, and simply bless. 2 signs in the living room. Inhale and exhale gratitude, and that you're simply blessed. All right, and then you're going to paint that sign about making yourself at home. Right. I need to redo that one myself. Make yourself at home, but remember that you're not. Yeah. It's not an insult. It's just to remind somebody, because you know what? It also goes to what Joy is saying about inhale and exhale gratitude. You're in my home. I'm here to serve you. You don't have to come here and work your butt off. A lot of times people say, "Hey, you're not company anymore. You've been here a certain amount of times." But it still is my house, and I'm here to serve you, and I want to make sure that you're comfortable while you're there. And then what's that? Yeah, that's what my mother also said. Yeah, when you get woman enough to run this house, you get out. But that was also what she said to my sister. There's only going to be one woman in this house, and that was her. So we get different quotes depending on where we are in birth order, in friendship, in family. So let's remember that. You're going to get a different quote and receive a message differently depending on who you are. We're talking about your home, your house, your spirit. You will get spoken to differently depending on who you are. So just as I'm talking about these signs, how you project who you are always makes a difference. And that's what these signs are doing. They're helping you fill yourself up with, no, this is who I am. This is what I believe. And in the process of doing that, you project that to other people. And Peggy, and now Peggy, are you saying that that's the sign you got in your living room? Or just to identify yourself? Because I know I did make a mistake once when I got the Mama Benja, and I thought she was someone else, but I know it's you now, Peggy, one of my homegirls. So, but let me say, if Peggy is saying that's the sign she has in her living room, you should have your name in your living room. That's fine. You don't have to, but it's because it's mine. Where I can have my name. I joke, General Jones was on early. I don't know if he's still on, but when I spoke with the South Carolina National Guard last month, Army Guard, and I'm walking around and I had my name tag upside down. So, as different soldiers say, "Oh, excuse me, sir, your name tag is upside down." I said, "No, it's not. I have it that way just in case I forget who I am. I can look down and read my name." And they cracked up laughing. But then it became part of my message. What Peggy is saying, you have to know your name. Don't forget who you are. Sometimes in our own homes, we forget who we are, trying to be too hospitable. So don't forget who you are as you are helping people. And then here's something else I had in my living room. It's an ashtray. And it says, "I love you. Not just for what you are, but for who I am when I'm with you." Isn't that a great message? I love you, not just for who you are. I love you. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. I love you for who you are, but I love you. What we really love people for, in most cases, is because how they make us feel. So I love you for who I am when I'm with you. And that was an ashtray I saw somewhere, and I just liked it, and I bought that, and that's one that I keep in my living room as well, just to remind my guests, I'm happy to have you here. And see, we start to add all these things up, and we can see the difference that it makes in our lives. And so let me see if I had a note for that. Nope, that's it. Okay, so yeah, love people for who they are, but love them especially harder for how they make you feel. If you're just joining me, I had a feeling today, so I'm speaking with a puffed up tongue and a jaw that I think is out here, but it looks regular on the camera, all right? But also, won't that help? You know, look at that line, that saying again. I love you not just for who you are, but for who I am when I'm with you. Goes back to what Peggy's name is still sitting up there. You have to know who you are, and when you know who you are, then you value who you're with. I did a post today on my meme that said something to that effect. I don't quote myself as well because, you know, God is so good. I'm just zooming along, just loving what I do. And so it's just a reminder that we have to remember who we are. Let's go to the office. What have you got in your office? I got a couple of things. I got a few things. This is going to be my last room. But I've got one that says, competition is a lot like cod liver oil. Remember having to take it? First it makes you sick, then it makes you better. And that's how we have to look at cod liver oil. Here's that in her office. With God, I am never alone. And see, that goes right with what I'm saying. The competition, it doesn't make you sick. It makes you better. You are never alone. But most importantly, when I talk about competition, I want to compete with me. I'm not competing with anyone. I'm not comparing myself to anyone else. I'm competing with me to be better than I was the last time. And that's why I know I'm never alone, because God is always inside me, having me compete for being better than I was. But two things. This one goes with another one, which says passion doesn't punch a clock, which is a great reminder to entrepreneurs, but also to anyone if you have a job. But find a way to make what you're doing your passion so that you don't get caught. Well, it's 5 o'clock, I'm done. No, I don't punch a clock because I'm in my entrepreneurial dream. But these last two, the reason I have, and I don't have them on my wall, but I do have them laminated. I just haven't rehung them in my fifth place that I've moved since having them. Back, I don't even remember what year now. I wish I had thought to look that up. But Wall Street Journal used to be all black and white when it was just a newspaper, not online as it is today. And we finally went to color for advertising. And these was two of the first ads that I saw in color. And it was a campaign. I don't remember the company, but I loved the campaign and I loved the bright color. So I had actually cut them out of the newspaper and they were huge. And I laminated them and had them on my wall. One, competition is a lot like cod liver oil. First, it makes you sick, then it makes you better. And then passion doesn't punch a clock. So again, you want to be passionate about yourself so that you can remember that change and progress should be a bright spot in your life. A bright spot. Then I also have, I'm going to, so I do have my bedroom. Yay! I didn't write bedroom. But it's time for the final room, which is the bedroom. And so this is one of the things that I have in my bedroom, and it's one of my prayers. I have a scriptural theme every year. I'll take some from the Bible, but let me go back and stay in the living room for a second. Zet's got Harlem, USA, 125th Street. Okay, stay right there. Like I say, we don't plan these things, but they always work. And so Zet's got that in her office. Guess where I've got that? In my office as well. So again, we look for the commonalities more so than we look for the differences. All right? Let's and by the way, that's where we're born and raised. Okay? That's the beauty of it all. And then let's go to the bedroom. So one of my scriptural theme for 2014, I started doing these, which was the year that I started doing a scriptural theme. And every year I'll pick a scripture and I type them all up on the same page. And then in the mornings when I meditate, I read those scriptures as a way of starting my day. Excuse me. Of course, after I've already told myself I was beautiful in the bathroom and maybe read something in the living room or the kitchen. But this is from Matthew 12 and 30. It says, anyone who isn't helping me opposes me. And anyone who isn't working with me is actually working against me. And see, and so again, that goes to what I was saying about how this is your house. It's your spirit. Y'all know I always say choose your messengers carefully. and recognize that you're carefully being chosen as a messenger. But as you choose your messengers carefully, you have to work with people and look for people who have your best interest at heart. And they're not always the one you want to hang with, by the way. Some people have your best interest at heart, but could still not be good for you. I did a post the other day, and someone wrote, a good friend of mine, Tony Pullen, on LinkedIn, she wrote about how you got to get toxic people out of your life. And I remind her, it's not just toxic people. Sometimes you don't have to leave a person or place or a thing because you're upset. Sometimes it's just time for you to leave. And so if you see that someone's, not helping you, then if you're not helping, I don't need you to be lukewarm. If you're not helping me, then that means you're against me. And if you're not working with me, you're also actually working against me. So, and here's Joy in her learning Joy acronym. I painted this in my office. I am joyful, always optimistic, with hope, young at heart, and with childlike faith, Joy. And she knows I sent her one because Joy is one of my affirmations. That's just one you. If you don't have the right people working with you and for you, you can't be this acronym that Joy has just shown us. You can't be joyful. Not always. Always is very hard. You can't be joyful always or always optimistic, because you've got a lot of negativity pushing you down. But optimistic, having hope, and then young at heart with childlike faith, because as Jesus said, you must first be like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven. And so it's not saying that you have to regress, like in Alzheimer's, you have to regress to your childhood. But you have to have, somebody said something earlier, Zetine said about the parachute, our mind has to be open to work. And that's also where the childlike manner comes from. And you want to make sure that you have that. You have to be open to things. And there's Joy, just one you that Joy, I thought I sent it to you before, Joy. I think I did. Okay, but so meanwhile, I just gave you Matthew 12 and 30, my scriptural theme for 2014. Then my scriptural theme for 2016 is be sure to do what you should, for then you will enjoy the personal satisfaction of having done your work well, and you won't need to compare yourself to anyone else, for we are each responsible for our own conduct. Galatians 6, 4, and 5. And that goes to what I was saying. Where was I talking to? Who was I talking to about that? I thought that was somebody else's post. Okay, but it was that goes to saying how important it is to be yourself. Oh, Peggy, when I talk about being yourself, yeah, I'm not competing with that. We are all responsible for our own conduct. And so, and that's why you have to be conscious of giving people a pass too often about something they do, because they need to be more responsible and respectful of who you are. So, Joy, yes, you did send that one to me. Okay, just when okay, good, I did. All right, but yeah, we are each responsible for our own conduct. I think it also goes back to make yourself at home, but remember that you're not. You have to help people learn how to act in your house and around you. But more important, you have to not compete with yourself not compete with others, compete with yourself, and make sure that you are getting the best you that you have. You won't need to compare yourself to anyone else. We are each responsible for our own conduct. Okay? And then finally, still in the office rather, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I was a member of the National Speakers Association, and one of our fun leaders, Marquessa Petway, she said, I want everybody to have to have some type of an affirmation on your wall. And so here's the affirmation. Oh, okay. Oh, we got to go with Joy before we leave Galatians. You teach others how to treat you by what you allow. Absolutely. Absolutely. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. Of course, that comment is on Facebook as well. If you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube, wondering, I don't see that, he's making that up. No, I won't take credit for that one. Joy posted that one, but it is so true. So guess what? You can't teach people how to treat you if you don't know who you are. You can't teach them how to treat you by what you allow if you don't know who you are. See, it all comes back to you have to be responsible for your own conduct. Meanwhile, this is going to go well with this next thing, which is now an answer to what, let's see, let me go back and see whose comment I said I was going to make sure that I got this to God, because he doesn't need my help. I was like, you know what I'm saying? So creating me a new step flesh could shine, it depends. Okay, I don't remember who it was. I think, but I mentioned to you that this was going to come up later, and it might be Joy. But regardless, it's us. Hey, Victor, what's happening? Victor's in. All right, but here's this is one. So we had to have a mantra on our walls, and we didn't have to do it, but I like the exercise. So here's what I had on my wall, starting with the pandemic. I will have virtual audiences. I will fill these seats. I will have the same energy. I will reach myself. And I read those to myself in my meditation every morning, because I know that, based on the pandemic, come on, I don't care when you think it's going to slow down or end. Virtual is not going away. So, stop worrying about, I'm sick of this virtual and Zoom. No, it's not going away. It's not going away. So get comfortable with it. It's a change that actually has a benefit. A lot of people can get more done because of virtual and not having to spend the travel time. It saves budgets. Hey, look at the debt that the United States has. How many of us have a whole bunch of debt? And how many of us, I know I was glad to have student debt paused and every month hoping they decide to cancel it. So it really has done a lot of things. Look for the positive. This is also what we're doing. Look for the positive. This is the key. Okay, so I know I'm going to have virtual audiences. Then meanwhile, my sign has the picture of a theater. And it says, I will fill these seats. Because I know I'm going to have virtual audiences, but I'm still going to have live audiences, as I've had with my military family, both in South Carolina and Virginia, as I mentioned a little earlier. And wherever I travel, I will, I don't fill the seats, they do. But I still say that I will, one day, people will want to come see me. That's the mindset you have to have as a speaker and as a person. You want to fill the seats. You want to have relationships with real people. And then I will have the same energy. I don't care whether I'm online or in person. I have the same energy. Peggy, I'm me. I'm still going to be sporty. And now my persona is going to be a little different sitting down and online, sure. But that doesn't change who I am. A lot of people say, well, you need to be standing up so you can get your whole body. Maybe some people do. I don't. What I know how to do as a professional, in my opinion, is I know how to make the adjustments for my energy while I'm sitting down. So I don't need to be standing up to exhibit the energy behind and the power behind my words. I need to know how to do that from a seated position. And so finally, it says, I will reach myself. And so when I was reading that to one of my speaker friends when we first started, she said, whoa. Don't you need to reach people? No, I need to reach me. See, how often have we heard somebody say, if I can only reach one person? And then they go out there and they try to reach everybody. But I say to you, in the process of trying to reach everyone, you will reach no one. Because you're spending all that energy there's too many communication styles in the audience. So see, I don't try to reach everyone. I try to reach me. Because God, I live by what I call it the Moses principle. And if we go back to all those signs about God, I will handle your day, I will not need your help. God is going to put the words in my mouth. And he doesn't just do it with Moses. He does it with several different people in the Bible. But he does it in your life in several different ways. And so if you know who you are, then you can relax and know that you're going to say and do the right thing. So therefore, I need to hear, because the number one communication skill is listening, not speaking. If you're going to be a speaker, if you're going to be, well, you know what? If you're going to be a speaker, I'll expand after. If you're going to be a speaker, you have to hear what you say. And but now let me add that if you're a parent, if you're a team leader, if you're a colleague, if you're a friend, if you're a sibling, if you're giving advice, you need to hear what you say. Because I like to say, I don't want to practice what I preach. I want to preach what I practice. So I want to make sure that when I say something to you, which I hear what I'm saying, I want to make sure that I hear that so that I can say, yeah, that's what I meant. Because I may not reach you today. This goes back to choosing your messengers. Remember, you may not have to choose your messenger instantaneously. You may choose your messenger over time. As you start to get comfortable with this person and you hear where they're going with their spirit, you say, yeah, this is a person that I like to listen to. And so therefore, you're looking for the consistency in their message. Look for the same consistency in yours by knowing who you are. All these signs feed who you are, and you get a chance to keep checking in with yourself. So reach yourself. Reach yourself, because think about it when at church and when at the end they say the doors of the church are open. Is there one? Haven't you heard a preacher say, I know I'm talking to somebody. I hope somebody's listening. You don't know who you're reaching, not just in church, but in your regular life. Something you say is making a difference to somebody. And that person won't always get the chance to come up and thank you and said you made a difference. But something you said will help them. They may never see you again because of geography. And now, especially with virtual. But they may say that to somebody else and it may help them. So won't you want that whatever you said be a help rather than a hindrance to somebody? Make sure that you reach yourself. I say, oh man, I said that and I believe it. So now even the person that didn't get it that day I said it, when it clicks to them a week later, a month later, 3 months later, I know that I have delivered the truth. So deliver the truth by reaching yourself. And what Joy says, she said, I read a quote, we change lives by changing our own life first, because ours is actually the only life we can change. The other lives we change are the ones that choose to change their life. So yes, I love that quote. We change lives. In other words, we help people make the decision to change their life by changing our own, because they see in us that sincerity, that authenticity, that this person is not just blowing smoke or telling me something that they wouldn't do. And this is something that I want to try. There's that saying, I can't hear your words because your actions speak so loud. So be true to yourself. And as you think about it, the signs in our lives feed our spirit. They're there to make us laugh. We want to make sure that they should help us think, and they should make us feel good. So my final question to you is just a reminder, what are some of the signs hanging or laying around your home speaking to your spirit? Because once you are comfortable with them, that's the spirit you'll take out. And I love Joy's quote being there on Facebook at the end. We change lives by changing our own lives first. Look, I'm Sporty King. I want to thank you for committing your spirit to constantly seek things and reasons to be thankful. Everything we talked about are reasons to be thankful, that we're changing people's lives, that we're speaking to our spirit and being conscientious and conscious and authentic. And you know what? Put some of those signs up. You can go back in the thread and decide, you know what? I want to have that sign in my living room, my bedroom, my bathroom, whatever it is. But I know what I meant to say because it was Zet's quote about. Okay, wait, hang in there with me one time. I think it was this one about the parachutes. But the reason I wanted to get there is because I meant to say to you that this one about the virtual audiences, what I did, because some signs, my point I wanted to make here is that I have this in my bedroom, in my office, in my bathroom, in my kitchen, and on my door for when I'm leaving the house. Because this is one that I was, specifically working on, that I wanted to burn into my spirit and just keep reminding. So that's another thing. You don't have to have a sign restricted to one room. You can have it in as many rooms as possible and hear the message and give the message to yourself as many times as needed. So you just got a lot of options. Okay. So again, remember that glue, God's love really does undo everything. And we don't have to hump as much as we need to use Wednesday to keep it together. Thanks for keeping it together here with me on Sporty King on LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, YouTube, as well as on my website. And therefore, come back next week, 1 o'clock Eastern. What as Joy says, I'm going to put the character drawing of you in my house. Drawing made by AAT artist, and that's Kyle. Oh God, what's Kyle's last name? Time's up. But Kyle, we love you. She's a great character artist, and that's the picture you see on my little thumbnail right there of a drawing she did of me when I was presenting at our AATH, which is the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor. We believe in the healing power of laughter and healthy humor. So, that's another resource that you can have to help, find ways to keep yourself positive. AATH.org. We also do have a Facebook page. And yes, I'll give them a shout out because Joy has given us the shout out. But Joy, thank you so much for participating. Everybody, thank you for participating. Those of you who are on the video, watching the video, please go on and put your comments in the thread as well. And we can find out what signs are keeping your spirit together. Meanwhile, let the sign of peace always keep you in place. Love you. See you next week. Ciao. And there's a good message from Marva, Marva working with our veterans called Their Angels, and they send packages, care packages around the country and around the world to our service members who are deployed. So thank you for doing that, Marva, and it's been an honor when you've brought me in to speak with your angels who are doing the packaging and sending. Thanks. Over and out, everybody. Ciao. Ooh, my mouth worked.